According to the Washington Post, a company with ties to President Trump's brother has been awarded a multi-million-dollar contract from the federal government. The IT company Certipath won a $33 million contract from the U.S. Marshals Service earlier this year. President Trump's younger brother, Robert, is one of Certipath's investors. One of the rival bidders for the contract filed a complaint with the Justice Department, stating one of the president's closest living relatives stood to benefit from the transaction. Joshua Partlow joins us now from Washington. He is a reporter for the Washington Post who first wrote about the story. Joshua, thank you so much for being with us. Can you give us an idea of the connection between the president's brother and this company?
Yeah, so the president's younger brother, Robert Trump, he has a investment partnership with the chief executive of this company, Certipath, and that investment partnership and another entity purchased Certipath in 2013. So he's been, a partial owner. His company has had a stake in Certipath for that time. So there's, in a situation like this where there's a $33 million contract, he would stand to benefit.
And what is the White House saying about your article, Joshua?
So the White House hasn't said anything about the story. They didn't comment. The U.S. Marshals Service, they said that while the contract has been awarded, it has not yet been paid out, and that's not necessarily due to this potential conflict of interest. There was a second company that also disputed this contract, and while that dispute is being resolved, no money is being paid out. So the U.S. Marshals Service says they were not aware of the allegations that the president's brother was financially involved in this contract, so it sounds like they might take a look at that as well.
Well, this connection came to light through an anonymous complaint. What is being alleged by a competitor?
So the competitor is being alleged essentially that the company has not made the U.S. Marshals Service aware that Robert Trump has a financial involvement with their company, and so essentially that they're not disclosing that, while at the same time the president's company or the president's brother may be benefiting from this contract. So, I mean, Certipath's response to this has been that yes, they acknowledge that he's an investor in the company, he has a minority stake in the company, but they also say that he's a passive investor, that he's doesn't have any management role in the company, and that they do not trade on his name. So, I guess both sides are agreeing essentially that they haven't made the U.S. Marshals Service aware that he was involved with this company.
Well, this is not the first federal contract that Certipath has received while the president has been in office. How much money has this company been awarded?
Since 2013, the company's been awarded about $13 million from the U.S. government on various contracts. So about half of that came before President Trump was elected, and about half of that came after. Although this $33 million contract from the Marshals Service would be the largest contract by a fair margin.
Well, you mentioned, so no money has been paid out, and there's this stop work order on the contract. Walk us through that one more time.
So there's a second company called NMR Consulting, another Virginia company that was a bidder on this contract, and they filed a dispute after the contract was awarded to Certipath with the Government Accountability Office in July. Now that, according to the U.S. Marshals, has not been resolved. That dispute, they would not disclose any information about what the subject of that dispute was about, except to say that it didn't have to do with the president or his family. So presumably it's some other issue about the awarding of the contract that concerned the second company, who would also not comment about why they filed the complaint. So for now, the U.S. Marshals Service is saying that they're still trying to resolve that initial complaint, and that's why no money has been paid out.
Finally, Joshua, do we know if the Justice Department is planning to look at the alleged conflict of interest?
So the complaint from the anonymous rival bidder about potential nepotism or benefit to the president's family. That went to the Department of Justice Inspector General. The Inspector General so far has not taken any public action on that, and has not commented on whether it is looking into this. But that was filed in the summer a few months ago.
All right, we'll see if there's any movement. Joshua Partlow. Joshua, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.